Have you ever felt like you're just stuck? Like you're doing everything mostly right, but the scale just isn't budging? Well, you're definitely not alone. The wild thing is, major weight gain hardly ever comes from one single big mistake. Nope, it's usually the sum of dozens of tiny, almost invisible habits that just pile up day after day. So today, we're gonna pull back the curtain on those habits and figure out how to finally break the cycle.
I want you to think about it like this: the body debt trap. It's a perfect way to put it. You know, just like with money, you don't end up in massive debt because of one giant purchase. It's the daily $5 coffee, the little impulse buys here and there. It's the exact same with our health. It's that daily soda, taking the elevator instead of the stairs. Each choice feels like no big deal, but over time they compound into this massive debt that feels completely overwhelming.
So as we go through all of this, that's the big question I want you to ask yourself, honestly. Are you caught in this trap? Which of these little debts are you racking up without even noticing? Let's dive in and find out.
All right, first things first. We have to talk about the food that we don't even realize we're eating. I'm talking about the invisible calories, the ones that somehow create very visible weight almost out of thin air because we just don't account for them.
And it often starts right here, with what you drink. The math on this is just brutal. A single can of soda, it feels like nothing, right? But if you do that every single day, you've just consumed enough extra calories to pack on 15 pounds of fat in 1 year. 15 pounds! And the same goes for a lot of juices and those super sugary coffee drinks. They deliver hundreds of calories, but your body gets zero sense of fullness from them, making them one of the absolute easiest traps to fall into.
Okay, take a look at this number, 600. What do you think that represents? It's not the calories you burned in a workout. It's not how many ounces of water you drank. It's actually something you probably thought was helping you.
And boom, there it is. 600 calories can easily be hiding in the creamy dressing, the croutons, and the cheese that you put on your so-called healthy salad. You've basically just turned a beautiful bowl of vegetables into the caloric equivalent of a big old cheeseburger. It's all part of that low-fat scam from back in the day. They took out the fat, but they pumped in tons of sugar and calories, and we're still dealing with the fallout.
And oh, it does not stop there. Let's just rapid fire a few more of these calorie ghosts. That handful of chips while you're cooking dinner? Yep. Finishing your kids' leftover mac and cheese? That counts. Polishing off your partner's fries because you don't want them to go to waste? Those count too. Just one bite of that donut in the break room. Every single one of these is a small deposit into your body debt. Even just cleaning your plate every single time long after you're full is basically training your body to ignore its own "I'm done" signals.
And this all leads to a really crucial, kind of tough love point. The next time you catch yourself thinking, "But I eat pretty healthy," I want you to remember this quote. Pretty healthy got you here. That pretty healthy mindset is what allows all those little invisible calories to slip by unnoticed and add up to something big.
So now let's flip the coin and look at the other side of the equation. Because it's not just about what you're putting in your body, it's also about what you're not putting out. We are living in a state of what you could call a daily movement deficit.
I mean, think about it. Modern life is basically designed for convenience, which is really just another word for inactivity. Taking the elevator to go up 1 or 2 floors, circling the parking lot for 5 minutes just to save a 30-second walk, getting literally everything from your coffee to your groceries delivered right to your door. All these tiny choices strip away the natural low-level movement our bodies were literally built to do.
And this convenience creates a really dangerous all-or-nothing mindset. You know the one. You either do nothing for weeks, or you go so hard at the gym that you can't walk for 3 days, and then you use that as an excuse to quit. But the truth is, consistency beats intensity every single time. A simple 30-minute walk every day is infinitely better. And here's the really important part. Cardio is great, it burns calories right now, but building a little muscle, that burns calories all the time, even when you're just sitting on the couch.
Now for the biggest excuse in the book. I just don't have time. This quote is the perfect, no-nonsense answer to that. Just check your phone's screen time report. It doesn't lie. 3, 4, maybe 5 hours a day scrolling? The issue isn't a lack of time, it's a lack of priority.
And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most critical piece of this entire puzzle. You can know all the diet tricks, all the workout plans in the world, but if your head isn't in the right place, none of it will ever stick. Your mindset is the lock on this whole system.
Let's start with a really powerful way to reframe this whole conversation. It's so easy to feel helpless, right? To blame things we think we can't change. But this quote says it all. Genetics load the gun. Your habits pull the trigger. Sure, maybe your genes give you a certain predisposition, but it's your daily actions, your habits, that actually pull the trigger and determine the outcome.
You are way more in control than you think.
So let's just bust some of the most common excuses one by one. First up, it's my age. The reality? Your metabolism only slows down by about 50 calories per decade after you turn 30. That's like a handful of almonds. It's not an entire pizza. Okay, next excuse. It's my thyroid. The hard truth, for 95% of people struggling with their weight, the problem isn't their thyroid, it's their fork.
And a huge part of this whole mindset trap is that we've taught ourselves to use food for literally everything except what it's for, which is fuel. Had a stressful day at work? Eat something. Bored sitting on the couch? Let's find a snack. Got a promotion? Let's go out for a huge meal to celebrate. We've turned food into our #1 tool for managing our emotions, which is a recipe for disaster when you're trying to manage your weight.
So, after hearing all that, you might be wondering, okay, how do I actually break free? Well, the answer isn't some complicated 12-week program that you'll get around to starting eventually. It's about breaking the cycle today, right now.
I want you to let this sink in. Monday is a liar. That idea of waiting for a fresh start is the most tempting, most devious form of procrastination there is. You give yourself a free pass to keep up the bad habits for just a few more days. But that perfect Monday, it never really shows up. And the cycle just starts all over again.
The only way to break the cycle is to act immediately. And there's a super simple 4-step plan to do exactly that, right now. Not after you finish this, not tonight, not tomorrow. 1. Put down your phone. 2. Get up and drink a full glass of water. 3. Just go for a walk, even if it's only for 5 minutes around the block. And 4. Start right now. You don't break 60 bad habits all at once. You break the entire cycle with one single positive action.
And that really brings us to the final question for you. You don't have to fix everything today. That's not the goal. You just have to make one small payment on your body debt. So, what's it going to be? Will you skip that afternoon soda? Take the stairs instead of the elevator? What's that one small positive choice you can make? What's the first debt you'll repay?